Hello. Today, I want to take a second and talk about the stud muffin equation. So, if you're watching this video, this is going to be super informal. I just want to talk about weight loss for a little bit. I had a lot of people, my friends and family, reach out to me about how to lose weight, and it's not something that everybody just like, oh yeah, I know how to do that, right? It can be kind of confusing, like there's a lot to understand about it. So I thought that I'd take a few minutes and explain like my method of thinking on the subject. There was a time on my mission that I served in Oregon where I really wanted to lose weight, just like to slim down. There is a difference between losing weight and slimming down, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But I came up with like a very numerical system of thinking to lose weight, a very numeric approach to weight loss, because it's all numbers, right? And as long as you can guarantee what's going into you and what's going out of you, like it's guaranteed you're going to lose weight. So I'll just go over this like pretty quickly, but if you don't already, grab something to write with and a good old pen. And I want you to write down your current weight, right? And this is flipped because it's selfie. Again, this is going to be an informal video, but write down your current weight and your current body fat percent. And body fat percent you can figure out with a bod pod, with an electroimpedance scale or measure, like a handheld device. You can also measure it with calipers if you have those. You can look up all these things online if you don't know what they are, but I'd say that the best way, the way that I measure my body fat percent, it's the easiest way. It's not the most accurate, but it's through an electroimpedance device, which is a handheld one that my gym offers. Those are nice. You can buy scales that have electroimpedance electrodes built into the scale at Winco, I think, for like $50 to $100. They're nice to have, so you might as well, use it forever. But if you don't want to do any of that, if you don't want to pay money to find it out, or you can't, you can also figure it out by, this is going to sound terrible, by your best guess. And the thing is, when somebody says like, I weigh X amount to try and guess, I'm like, I have no idea how much you weigh. Like the picture can be misleading, right? You might look taller next to like a tree versus a kid. I can't really like guess your weight super well. But if you tell me to guess your body fat percent, that's easier because it's a ratio. How much fat do you have compared to your whole body weight? So you can look up pictures online, examples of what people are, just to like get a best estimate. Because with that number, we're going to put it through a few other hoops and it'll pump out a number of how much we need to burn from our fat stores to lose weight over a certain amount of time. So like if it's accurate, that's the best deal. Like the more accurate, the better. But if it's like a percent off, like you're still going to lose weight here. So you just will do either a little bit more calories a day or less than you probably would have expected. But look up examples. I'm at 10% right now. But 10% looks different on different people. It's super misleading. Anyways, just like do your best guess, figure it out. So write down your current weight, and I'm going to use my numbers as examples for us. My current weight is 162. My current body fat percent is 10%. And body fat percent, again, is the amount of fat you have compared to your whole body weight. So for me, 10% of 162 is 16.2. So I wrote down my total body fat is 16.2 pounds. And that's everything. That's on the lining of my intestines on the outside, the lining under my skin in certain places. It could be like around my face. It could be down on my legs, in my stomach region. That's just like total fat. And in your brain, things like that. Like most of that I have is necessary to have. To go below 8% body fat is just like questionable depending on who you are. 7 and 6 is really like not the most healthy thing over a long period of time, but it can be done, obviously. But my point being that I need most of that fat. Most of that isn't stuff that is making me look less aesthetic, if that makes sense. I'd say, like I said, 8% is pretty ripped, and that's where I want to be. That's just like what I feel I want. I've wanted that for a long time. I'm going to try and hit it. But the lower you set your goal, though, realize the harder it's going to be. It really is hard the lower you get down. It gets kind of like exponentially hard because you can do less of cheating. There's less leeway. So anyways, just be careful with what you set as your goal. Make it realistic. So my goal body fat percent is 8%, and 8% of my total body fat, I did the math, is whatever 16.2 minus 3.24 pounds is. 2%, the 2 that I need to lose to get to 8% is 3.24 pounds. Okay, we're just gonna roll with the punches of what just happened. The video cut off. Anyways, back. This is informal. I don't care too much. So I hope the math makes sense. If your goal is 15%, right? You're at 20 and you're at 200 pounds. You need to figure out what 15% of 200 is, right? So that's your new goal weight. You also need to figure out what 20% of 200 is, which I think is 10 pounds. No, it's 20. Anyways, figure it out. Do the math, and that will give you the amount of body fat you have on you. And then in my case, like, I might have just explained this twice, I don't know. But my goal is 8%, right? That's my goal body fat. My current is 10. That's a 2% difference. So then I take my total weight. I took 2% of that. What is 2%? Of my body fat, excuse me. I took 2% of my total body fat because that's what I want to lose, right? And I figure that is 3.24 pounds of fat from my stores I need to lose, and that will guarantee me being at 8% body fat. So it means that my goal weight is going to be around 158 by the time I'm done. But that's if I assume I didn't eat that day. It's assuming I didn't gain any weight and muscle. It's assuming a lot of things. So weight doesn't matter as much. Body fat percent is what we're looking at. So 3,500 calories are in a pound of fat. And if I want to lose 3.24 pounds to hit my goal, I have to lose 11,340 calories. Which kind of seems like a lot, right? Because you pick up 2% milk and in a serving is 110 calories, something like that. And you have to lose that, but 11,000. And like you only burn like 3,000 a day depending on who you are. That's high. So anyways, it's kind of a lot when you look at it, but realize that when you give it 30 days, divide that by 30, and that's like 300 calories a day. So it is very obtainable, but hopefully this numeric system helps you realize it's right there. Like you can get it. It's going to be harder to do it than to say this is how I'm going to do it, but it's possible. And I've been doing it for a while. I was 16% body fat, like right before I went home on my mission. So, and that was like 6 months ago now. So anyways, it's very possible. You can do it. I was also going to say something else on that. Give me a minute. Let's see if I can remember. I don't know. Must have not been important. But with the calories, 105 calories will fuel 15 minutes of straight push-ups for somebody my body type. So you think about it, in a Reese's peanut butter cup, of course I know how many calories in a Reese's cup. I swallow those things by the twos. It's 105 calories per cup, so 210. And it's actually 210 calories that will fuel you for 15 minutes of push-ups, but I'm pretty sure it's one or the other. Anyways, when you kind of look at it, like if you eat a Reese's, you kind of just like, depending on when you ate it, how much you've had that day, you kind of just added that much work to it, metaphorically. There's so many factors, but anyways, this is going to be very simplified. So one other thing, you need to write this down. If you are a woman, write down 655 plus, in parentheses, 4.35 times weight in pound, close parenthesis, plus parenthesis, 4.7 times height inches, close parenthesis, minus 4.7, in parentheses again, times age and year, close parenthesis. And if you're a man, write down 66 plus, in parentheses, 6.23 times weight pounds, close parenthesis, plus parenthesis 12.7 times height in inches, parenthesis, minus parenthesis 6.8 times age in year, close it. And so you're going to want to run that number. And for me, I got 1,828. Now what that number is your basal metabolic rate. What that is if you do nothing today for an entire 24-hour period, from 2 o'clock today to 2 o'clock p.m. the next day, full 24 hours, that's how many calories you burn without doing anything. your body is doing its thing. It's producing all its juice things, and it has to breathe and respirate and get blood around, your heart's going, your intestines move on their own. That's how many calories it takes to stay alive, essentially. And so do your best to figure that out. And that's going to represent calories a day. So mine is 1,828 calories a day. So that gives me a lot of information. But now what you need to do is somehow do your best to estimate how many calories that you burn a day total. So you've got your BMR now, your basal metabolic rate. We need to figure out how much we burn on average a day, because that's going to give us a number of how much we can put into ourselves to avoid going over that limit. You see what I mean? To make a caloric deficit, you have to be expending more than you're eating. You have to be burning more than you're putting in, right? Otherwise, there's never going to be that downward trend at any level, and you're never going to lose weight. So what we're trying to do is create a caloric deficit. And so there's online calculators that can do that. You can play with numbers if you know kind of how calories work. A really, really hard workout will be like 600 to 800 calories, depending on how hard, but that's really strenuous. Like I said, 15 minutes of push-ups is either 105 calories or 210. I'm leaning towards 100. I forgot which one it is, but calories go pretty far. So I used an online calculator, and it pumped out 4 numbers for me. It pumped out, if I'm inactive, man, 5'10", 162, 20 years old, I will burn 2,200 calories a day inactive. If I'm somewhat active, 2,400. If I'm active, 2,650. And if I'm very active, 3,100. So you need to do your best to average out everything that happens on a weekly basis. If you're a construction worker and you're burning a lot of calories at work, you need to even that out with Sunday when you're not doing anything, because otherwise you're going to represent you're burning, in my case, 3,100 calories every day, when there are days when I'm only burning 2,500, but I'm making the deficit for 300. So I'm actually eating 2,800 calories, which means I'm 300 over. So you got to be careful and average it out, which is why I have very active days. At work, I'll take 20,000 steps usually. It is go, go, go. And those days are 3,100 calories. But to be safe with myself, to be safe with the numbers, I'm going to just assume active, because I'll go to the gym every day. I'm usually doing a little something. And then when I work, it really kind of equalizes that out, if that makes sense. So I burn on average 2,650 calories a day. So now with that number, first of all, I had kind of like some fun measurements that I made based upon how many calories that is. And I have kind of a point to make, because you've always heard that processed foods are bad for you, right? And I mean, they are, but I found out, to my understanding, that they're bad for you in a different way that I thought originally. So check this out. 2,650 calories, 2,650 is 12.5 full-size Reese's. So like 12.5 of the 2 packs. It's 6.5 Pop-Tart packs. So it's about 13 Pop-Tarts. 20 Twinkies. Like, how hard is it to eat a Twinkie? Like, you can really eat 20 in a day and then some. And that's going to be your whole amount of calories. Surprisingly, 2,650 calories is also about 6 avocados, full avocados, which is insane, because like avocados have good fats and good things, but if you eat it right before bed, calories are still calories. And it might not be a smart idea to do some things right before you go to bed. But 2,650 calories is also 7 triple servings of Reese's Puffs. Because, you know, we eat bowls of cereal. We don't eat servings. And one bowl is about 3 servings. So it's 7 bowls of Reese's Puffs, which is not that hard to eat, right? You eat cereal, and like, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for more in like 40 minutes or so. And then it's also 23 cups of apple juice, which is like, what? Apple juice. But here's the thing though. Processed food goes through a process, right? That's why it's processed, to get something out of it, to make it more of what we want. And what we want is it to be sweeter, right? So you can either spend 2,600 calories on 23 cups of apple juice, or you can spend it on 28 apples. But the difference is, who can even eat 2 apples at a time? 23 cups of apple juice, literally, I can drink like 18 cups, you know, depending on how thirsty I am at one time. You know, those times when you just like throw anything down, you can put that down so fast. But 28 apples, the way that nature portioned it, It's got all the fiber, it's got all the antioxidants, it's got a lot of those nutrients that your body actually wants to make it whole calories. What we do is we process it and we just take out the sugar and we turn the sugar from 20 apples into like the space of like 5 apples. So you can eat way more processed food than you can whole foods and feel less full. Does that make sense? Like Twinkies, like the amount of calories that are in Twinkies compared to their nutrients and fiber, like 20 Twinkies would take up this much space metaphorically in your stomach, this much space, whereas all the nutrients and fiber that it derived from that we processed would take up like that much space, right? So it's a big difference. You can fit a lot more down. This is something else. 2650 calories, you can put down 17.5 cups of grape juice. That's nothing. That's seriously nothing. Or you have to put down 43 cups of whole grapes, which is a lot. I don't know if you've ever eaten yourself to sickness on grapes. It's kind of like a weird feeling, but they taste so good. But anyways, you can't put down 43 cups like you can put down 17 cups of grape juice. So what I'm saying is be careful how you hit your marks with calories, because yeah, I could eat like Reese's, there's 2 things Reese's Puff downstairs. I could eat, a few bowls of it and be okay with my goals today, because if that was 700 calories, okay, I just watch it and I don't go over my 2650, right? But you're not going to stay as full. If you're eating sugary foods, absolutely from experience sake, anybody will tell you who's trying to lose weight, if you do flexible dieting, you will have mess ups, and a lot. You're going to mess up. You're going to eat something that's so not right, maybe at the wrong time. And anyways, there's just a lot more chance of failure if you don't discipline yourself to the point where saying, I need to eat foods that are whole and like healthy for me. Because it is hard to stay disciplined when you're throwing down Reese's Puffs for 600 of your allotted calories and to not want something like that later. Like, who wants to go to broccoli and chicken, right? You don't. So anyways, be careful how you hit your marks. I can make a video about dieting, but that's a whole other topic and I would love to talk about it. But one more example I had is that whole grain wheat, 100 grams of it, which is not a lot, is 340 calories. And within that, since it's whole grain wheat, it's got 13.2 grams of protein. It's got 72 grams of complex carbohydrates. It has half a gram of sugar, which is a simple carb, which means it's going to go right through you. It's super low on the glycemic or high on the glycemic index. It goes straight to your blood and then it's done, right? Or it goes into your liver and glycogen stores, which is not quite what we want. But 72 grams of whole carbs, that's going to last you for a while. It's going to keep you full. It's going to be in you for a while. It provides a steady stream of energy over time as you break it down instead of all at once. It also, 100 grams of whole wheat has 10.7 grams of fiber and has 2.5 grams of fat. So fat has 9 calories per gram, and then protein and carbs both have 4. So when you look at the milk label in the fridge, your milk has 8 grams of protein per serving. That is going to be 24 calories that is contained in protein. Whereas fat, if there's 12 grams of fat in it, it's 12 times 9, whatever that is. I forget my math. 100 and something. 101, something like that. Anyways, so it kind of stacks up differently. But carbs is what your body's going to go to use. So the less carbs, generally the better. Again, I'm not here to talk about diet so much because that is such a big topic. Back to your measurement though. Once you have this number, 2650 for me, say it's 3,000, you know how much you're going to burn a day average. But know that from day to day, if you don't burn that much and you still eat over, you're not accomplishing your goal for that day anyways. So here's what's important now. Now this might get a little confusing. If you want to lose, in my case, I need to burn 11,340 calories from my body fat stores. I don't need to burn 11,000 calories. That's so different. The bread that I just ate is calories I'm going to burn. That might be 200 that I burned in bread, right? That is no longer in me. I have to burn 11,340 calories from my body fat stores, which means in essence, I got to make that big of a deficit over time. If I want to do that in 30 days, you do the math, take 11,340 for me, the total amount of calories I need to lose to get to my goal body fat percent, you divide it by 30 days. And I need to lose 378 a day to do that in 30 days. Or in 60, 11,340 divided by 60 is 189 calories a day. 90 days, 126 calories a day. I did 6 months, but that is the max I would go, depending on how disciplined you are and how much experience you have in the past of losing weight. I put in a year to show you it's 31 calories a day, which is minuscule. But think about it. How long are you going to be as motivated as you are right now? You know, the faster you can see results, the more sustainable your motivation is going to be. Because for me, I really started to be motivated when I saw results. And until that point, it was really hard to psych myself out sometimes. So if I put a goal for a year and only 31 calories, I'm going to, in my mind mentally, I can get so close to my limit. If I go over 1 day or two, like I have a while and it's not that much to lose anyways. I don't know, just for motivation's sake, I'd be careful with how long your approach is, but you do you, it's whatever. But here's something else. Back to the stud muffin equation. I just like muffins. That's why I called it that, by the way. If you want to do it in 30 days, that means you need to burn 378 calories a day, right? Now you take the number of how much you burn a day on average and you minus that number. You take it away from that total, and now you have how many calories you can eat a day to hit that goal in 30 days, or in 60, or in 90. And you do the math for each one. Like for me, if I want to hit it in 30 days, if I have a full day, according to my estimations, and I burn 2650 calories, I need to eat only 2200, and I will hit my goal in 30 days, as long as I consistently hit that amount of calories, or in 60 days, or in 90 days, right? The math is true. Like if you do that, you will lose weight. What's not true is how disciplined we are, right? How much it takes to get back from messing up. Your mind is such a powerful machine. You can literally do it right now. The only reason you haven't is because you haven't thought about the possibility. You haven't believed, yeah, it's right before me enough to keep acting that way. You know what I mean? So this is also going to vary as you go, because your body's pretty smart. And if you're trying to starve it of calories each day by like this one is pretty extreme, 400 calorie deficit. I'm going to be pretty hungry at the end of the day, by the way. It should mean that I'm pretty hungry sometimes. And you can throw down vegetables. It takes more calories to process them than they are. So you can always throw down vegetables. I mean, depending on the vegetable. Carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, spinach, things that you can throw into a smoothie and literally put in like xylitol, stevia. I'm not saying artificial sweeteners are good for you, but if they help you get your goal and achieve a place where you can stay there, it's really worth it compared to just eating sugar anyways. So anyways, point being, be careful with what you eat to get your goals. And as you go, your body is going to fight you on it. It's going to start putting down fat easier because it's like, I've been starved for a while. The instant you give it that slice of cake at 10 o'clock at night, I like promise you, if you're like halfway through, all of that is going to your body fat stores. It's going to load up glycogen as soon as it can in the liver, which is like your body's go-to energy source after what's in your intestines is like all used up. It's like extra stores of sugar pretty much. So your body's going to fight you a little bit, and you have to be ready to break through plateaus. Like when I was in July trying to get down to 11%, I was at like 12.5. I hit a pretty good plateau. It was somewhere around that range. And to break through it, I literally ate nothing but chicken and broccoli for so long. It was so disgusting. Like, I love chicken, but wow, every day, all day, different seasonings. It just, it was hard. But I broke through and I lost about 2 pounds in fat over the course of 3 weeks. So, and working out will help you a lot because nobody really thinks about it. But if you slim down and you don't have any muscle to like want to look at, you're not going to look exactly like you thought you would by losing weight. If your goal is just to lose straight up weight because you think your BMI is like over 25, you're like kind of obese, like, yeah, you'll probably like what you're looking at. But if you're looking to look aesthetic, you have to exercise. Like, you don't have to exercise to do this because it's a caloric deficit, right? All you have to do is not eat as much as you would have. But to like what you're looking at, I almost promise you, you're going to have to work out. You'll be so much more motivated. I would find a plan. I can make a video about workout plans. I absolutely love the topic. And if you have any questions about this, because again, if you're watching this video, you're probably a close friend. High five us, we're good friends. Just talk to me, text me or something, and I can answer any questions. If none of the measurements made sense, just let me know. This is kind of like my way of thinking, because I love thinking what is unfailable. No matter what I do, as long as I follow these steps, what will get me there? Because I take a lot of outs. I'm very motivated, but when I'm not, I'll take a lot of ways out and it gets harder. So I just like want to look at one way and be like, that's how I'm going to do it, right? So if you think like I do, this is pretty exciting. If you're on a mission, first of all, you're cool. I want your autograph if you're on a mission. You're so cool. Keep doing what you're doing. But just know that you don't choose your meals. You only have so much money. If you go to the store hungry, you're going to buy what you want. You only have 30 minutes to work out if you're doing things correctly. It's going to be harder. And the way that missionary work is, you're happy, you're happy-go-lucky, you have super highs and super lows. Super highs cause you to eat bad, super lows cause you to eat bad. So in my experience, I didn't lose a whole ton out there. I was able to lose about 7 pounds over the course of 3 weeks at one point on my mission. But I tell you, I wasn't doing everything that I was supposed to. So, I don't know what that sound is. Everything that you're supposed to be doing on a mission doesn't always conduce for, or isn't always conducive for losing weight. But you know what? Like, you can get going, kind of do damage control kind of a thing. And then when you get home, you're literally gonna fly. So, but you can achieve it on your mission. Again, all you have to do is eat less. And if you can do that, like, big props to you. You ought to told me how you did it, but it's pretty hard. So anyways, bringing reality to the picture, acknowledge it, forget it, whatever. It'll be hard, but you can lose weight, you can achieve the body you want, then you got to stick with it, because if you're using temporary means to get to a permanent solution, temporary, permanent, it's not going to be permanent, right? You have to have a permanent solution to get to a permanent result. And as you get older, it's going to get harder. So the more you can iron this lifestyle right now in your life, the further it will transform you later when you're 40, 50, 60. That's how you see these guys that are like, my word, like 180 pounds of muscle, or they've got like, 40 pounds of muscle on them and they're like 80 years old. They've been doing it their whole life and it's hard for them, but they've got the discipline, they've built it up, and you and I can do it too. So anyways, that was fun. Again, if you have questions, hit me up. Other than that, see ya. So, you want to lose weight. Okay. Okay. All right, so I recently, my name is Jake, by the way. Don't eat Twinkies. I don't know what I'm doing. Hello. Today, we're gonna go over the stud muffin equation. That's what I call it. It's for people, hopefully like yourself, but impedance measurement or measuring tool. That's probably the easiest.